Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever looked at your bank account at the end of the month and thought, wait, where did all my money go? Maybe you didn't buy anything huge, no new car, no giant TV. But somehow, little by little, the money just disappeared. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Today, we're talking about smart spending. Not about living like a monk. Not about cutting out every coffee or every little joy. Instead, this is about learning how to stop wasting money on things that don't matter, so you can spend more on the things that actually bring you happiness and move you toward your goals. By the end of this video, you'll understand how emotional spending traps keep you broke, how social media and trends trick you into buying things you don't need, why minimalism isn't the only answer, and what smart consumption looks like. 3 simple questions to ask before every purchase. Why budgeting is your secret weapon, with the 50-30-20 rule and planning for irregular expenses. The hidden trap of lifestyle inflation, and how to avoid it. And finally, how to practice mindful spending so you enjoy life without guilt. This video could literally save you thousands of dollars every year, so grab a notebook because you're going to want to remember these tips. Part 1. Emotional spending traps. Let's start with emotional spending. We've all been there. You're stressed after a long week and you think, I deserve a treat. Maybe it's new clothes, maybe it's ordering takeout, maybe it's gadgets you don't really need. This is what's often called retail therapy. And it works, temporarily. You feel good in the moment, but here's the problem. That feeling fades in hours, sometimes even minutes. What doesn't fade? The bill. Example. Imagine someone who spends just $60 a week on little treats. That doesn't sound like much, right? But multiply it by a year. That's over $3,000 gone. And most of the stuff they bought doesn't add real value to their life. The psychology here is simple. Our brain releases dopamine when we buy something new. It feels like a reward. But just like junk food, the high is temporary, and then you crave more. So, what's the solution? Instead of cutting out every joy, identify your triggers. Do you shop when you're stressed, when you're bored, when you feel left out? Once you know the trigger, you can replace it with something else. A walk, a hobby, calling a friend, even journaling. Quick question for you. What's your personal trigger for impulse spending? Drop it in the comments. I bet you're not alone. Part 2. Social media and trend spending. Now let's talk about one of the biggest spending traps today. Social media and trends. Have you ever scrolled TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube and suddenly thought, wow, I need that? Maybe it's a gadget, a skincare product, or clothes that everyone's showing off. That's not really need. That's influencer marketing working exactly as designed. Brands know that when you see someone relatable or stylish using a product, your brain connects it with belonging, status, or even happiness. The danger? You end up buying things just because they're trending. And trends move fast. A month later, the product is forgotten, but the money is gone. Here's a classic example. Remember the hype around fidget spinners? Millions of people bought them because of trend pressure. A few months later, they were in drawers or trash bins. That's the power of social media-driven consumption. Here's a trick. If you see something online and suddenly want it, pause for 48 hours. Ask yourself, would I want this if I hadn't seen it in that video? If the answer is no, you just saved yourself money. Question for you. What's the last thing you bought just because you saw it online? Did it really add long-term value to your life? Be honest, we've all been there. Part 3. Minimalism versus smart consumption. Some people hear advice like this and think, so the solution is minimalism. Own nothing, cut out coffee, live in an empty room. Not necessarily. For most people, extreme minimalism isn't realistic or enjoyable. And money is also meant to be enjoyed. The better approach is smart consumption. Smart consumption means buying less, but better. Instead of 5 cheap t-shirts, buy 2 high-quality ones that last longer. Instead of eating out randomly 3 times a week, save it for a special occasion and actually enjoy it more. It's not about depriving yourself. It's about cutting the waste so you can keep the joy. Mini exercise. Think of one area where you overspend without even enjoying it. Maybe subscription services you don't use. Maybe random Amazon buys. If you cut just that category, how much would you save every month? Part 4. 3 questions before every purchase. Now, let's get practical. Here are 3 questions you should ask before every purchase. 1. Do I really need this? Or do I just want it right now? 2. Will I still care about this in 30 days? 3. Does this purchase help me reach my bigger goals? Example, you're tempted to buy $200 headphones. Your old ones still work. In 30 days, you probably won't care. Bigger goal? Maybe saving for travel or paying down debt? Suddenly, the answer is clear. Skip it. This simple test can save you from hundreds of regret purchases every year. Part 5. Budgeting. Your secret weapon. Now, let's connect this with something we've already discussed on this channel. Remember our video on budgeting basics? If you missed it, check the link in the description. It's a must-watch if you want control over your money. Here's the truth. Budgeting is the foundation of smart spending. Without it, money slips through your fingers like water. You might think you're doing fine, but at the end of the month, you look at your account and wonder, where did it all go? That's why a budget is not about restriction. It's about freedom. It gives you a clear plan so you can spend on the things you love, without guilt, while still protecting your financial future. One of the simplest and most powerful methods is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs, rent, utilities, groceries, transportation. 30% for wants, dining out, streaming services, shopping, travel. Basically, your lifestyle fund money. 20% for savings and debt repayment, building your emergency fund, investing, paying down credit cards or loans. My recommendation, use this rule as your anchor. It's flexible. You can adjust based on your income or priorities, but it keeps you balanced. It makes sure you're enjoying life now and building security for the future. And let's add a crucial point we covered in the Saving Money episode. Protect your savings by planning for irregular expenses. These are the sneaky costs that don't show up every month but always show up eventually. Annual car insurance, unexpected medical bills, car maintenance, home repairs, holiday gifts, birthdays, and vacations. If you don't plan for them, they'll feel like emergencies every single time. And what happens when you're unprepared? You swipe the credit card, go into debt, and undo your hard work. A simple trick. Create sinking funds. That means putting aside a little bit each month for those irregular expenses. For example, if you know car insurance costs $600 per year, save $50 each month into a separate account. By the time the bill comes, you're ready. No stress, no debt. Another pro tip. When your income increases, resist the temptation to inflate your lifestyle. Instead of spending more, keep your needs and wants within the same range, and funnel that extra money into savings and investments. This is how real wealth builds over time. Remember, a budget isn't there to limit you. It's there to make sure your money works for you instead of disappearing. With a budget, you control your spending instead of letting your spending control you. Part 6. Lifestyle Inflation Trap. Now let's talk about a sneaky trap that hits almost everyone. Lifestyle inflation. Here's how it works. You get a raise. Great. Instead of saving more, you upgrade your lifestyle. You move to a bigger apartment. You buy a nicer car. You eat out more often. You add subscriptions. And suddenly, your expenses match your new income. You're making more money, but you don't feel any richer. This is why some people making $100,000 a year feel just as broke as when they made $40,000. Their lifestyle grew, but their savings didn't. Solution: every time your income increases, commit a portion to savings or investing before upgrading your lifestyle. That way, your raises actually build wealth, instead of just funding more stuff. Question for you. Be honest. When your income goes up, what's the first thing you tend to spend more on? Part 7. Mindful spending and psychology of consumption. Finally, let's talk about mindful spending. Mindful spending doesn't mean cutting everything. It means being aware of why you're spending. It means choosing purchases that align with your values and long-term goals. Here's how it works. Write down 3 things you love spending on. Things that bring you joy or lasting value. Maybe travel, hobbies, experiences. Now write down 3 things you often spend on but don't really care about. Maybe impulse snacks, random apps, extra clothes. The trick? Cut the second list, double down on the first. This way, you don't feel deprived. You feel in control. You get to enjoy life, but also watch your savings grow. And here's something powerful. When your spending matches your values, your money brings more happiness per dollar. That's the opposite of emotional or trend-driven buying, where the happiness fades instantly. So ask yourself, does this purchase make me happy now and help me build the life I want in the future? Let's recap everything we covered. Emotional spending gives short-term joy, but long-term regret. Social media and trends push you to buy what you don't need. Smart consumption beats extreme minimalism. The 3-question test helps you avoid regret. Budgeting is your secret weapon. Use the 50-30-20 rule and plan for irregular expenses. Lifestyle inflation makes you spend more as you earn more, instead of saving the extra. And mindful spending lets you enjoy life while still building wealth. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one purchase you regret? And one purchase you'll never regret because it was worth every penny. Drop it in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who keeps saying, "I'm broke," but shops online every day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, where we'll cover the basics of investing and how to make your money grow.